A special shout out to Mindbolic and Bubbleistic.
Hey, it's Elaine Duran, and you're watching Mindbolic TV on Neck to Neck. I have a very special guest, Miss Wendy Miller. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So what we're doing today is that we're uncovering hit makers and producers, and we're actually getting the behind scenes, we'll say exclusive, actually, their thoughts and their process into going into, making the hit songs and what have you. So, now, everyone knows the song 5 Steps from Drew Hill, and you're actually one of the infamous writers that actually helped evolve this song to something that everyone knows, and it's a great R&B ballad. So how do you actually know Drew Hill, and how did you get involved with them?
I actually grew up with them in a sense. We used to all hang out together before they were Drew Hill, so it was kind of almost a shoo-in a sense as far as knowing them.
And so I know that you actually have your own publishing company.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Child Publishing.
All right, I like that. And how did you come up with that name?
I came up with the name because I used to change the color of my hair all the time, and then people considered me back in the day I was the red bone.
Right.
So red bone, and I had the red hair, so it was pretty much Reds became my nickname. And Child was almost infamous because also they had Dark Child and everything else was just Child attached to it. So I was like, hey, Red Child. So it just fit, it worked.
So Wendy, can you name a few other people that you have actually submitted or written for?
It'd be NSYNC and Ashanti and 112.
Okay. Any advice? Because I know there are tons of songwriters that are out there, and they may not know, how to exactly get their music out there, references-wise, and all that. So what would you, give as far as advice to inspiring songwriters?
I would pretty much say don't give up. A lot of things are pretty discouraging.
Oh, yeah.
And just keep at it, keep doing it. If you come up with something you might not think it might sound right, or just a lot of people are just, it doesn't sound like it's the in thing, or it sounds like it's not what's in style.
Yeah.
To me, today it's all about something different, and you could have that something different that nobody else out there has. So just because yours doesn't sound like anybody else, you could have that certain something different. So just don't give up on it. Just keep at it and just keep writing and just keep plugging away.
Right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me
your
here.
time.
I
appreciate you. You're watching Mindbolic TV on Neck to Neck.
What's going on? It's your boy Nokia. I want to give a big shout out to Bubbleistic and Mindbolic TV. This is where you're supposed to be.
Hey, it's Elaine Duran, and you're watching Mindbolic TV. I have actually now 2 special guests here on the couch. I have Mr. Tamir Ruffin and Wendy Miller, aka actually Nokia of Drew Hill. How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Good, good, good. So, I actually read that you were the founder of Drew Hill. Am I right? Am I kind of wrong?
It was a collaborative effort between me and Woody. Actually, Woody already had a group that he was singing with, and I was starting to work on some solo stuff. So, he told me one day, he was like, I got this group, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, well, I'm working on some stuff, so let me come check the group out, and maybe, if it's good, I can help you out.
Right.
And I just ended up staying.
So what actually inspired you to start, singing? And I know you produce as well. So what made you kind of, was it something that was just natural? Did your parents kind of inspire you? Or?
Well, I mean, I guess you could say I had music in my family.
Okay.
Like, my uncle sang in the band, and, my grandmother always tells a story that, they did a show with Smokey Robinson one day, and Smokey Robinson ended up coming over the house after dinner, and she cooked everybody spaghetti or something. But, in all actuality, my getting into the business, I really didn't want to. I'm not going to say I didn't want to be an artist, but that wasn't my focus. I wanted to be a businessman and producer. But in learning the business early on, actually traveling to New York from with another artist from Baltimore, Donovan, I learned that, being an artist is cool, but being the writer and producer and everything is a whole other level. So,
it is.
I realized that it's harder to, I guess, back then it was harder to start out as a writer or producer. It was okay, so if I can be an artist, then maybe I can make my way to that. And when I first started, like, I didn't know how to sing. I didn't know how to really play an instrument other than the trumpet. I didn't know how to write a song, produce a song, or nothing. I just would sit in my room for like days at a time, and it's like, this is what I'm going to do. So, you know.
So not a lot of people know this either, because I didn't. But your name's actually Nokia. That name is actually an acronym. So how did you come up with that? And you want to tell them, you know, what does it actually stand for?
Well, what happened was, initially it was like Nokia, but it was short for Pinocchio. And the reason why was that, like, I would always have these stories, and like, they would be so crazy that people were like, come on, man, like, that couldn't have happened, for real. So, you know, it's like Nokia, but then I was like, I mean, if you're going to have a name, you got to own it. And that's not something that I want to, like, you know, like the Liar Boy or whatever. No. So, you know, I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm going to make it my own. So, you know, the N stands for nasty, which is pretty self-explanatory. Then you have the O and the K, which stood for on key.
Okay.
You know, because, like, you know, I could always pretty much remember what key I was supposed to be in, or what key the song was in when we were singing or whatever else. And then in octave, because, you know, like, I can, you know, like, I'll sing baritone sometimes. Sometimes I sing second or third tenor. You know, sometimes I sing falsetto or whatever. So I just put it together and just felt like that just described me.
I like that. I definitely like that. But do you think, compared to now and back in the 90s, do you think it's easier to come, I guess, into the industry, you know, back then or now?
Well, actually, I would say that it's easier to come into the industry now with, you know, YouTube and all the social medias. You know, it's kind of like back then, you know, you had to make a song and, you know, you made a demo tape.
You had to sing. You actually know how to, yeah.
But the funny thing with us is that we never made a demo. Like, we never had a demo tape where it was, you know, okay, we got this meeting with so-and-so, sing something. And we would sing and automatically, oh my God, you know, whatever. But now, I think it's a lot easier to get into the business, I guess you say now. Like, you know, you can make a song, you know, you got, you know, a few 100,000 or 1 million people, whatever, viewing you on YouTube, somebody gonna give you a deal.
Right,
but the business isn't really set up now to really become a marquee artist or have longevity, because everybody's constantly looking for the next thing. Not that they weren't doing that in the 90s, but now it's like, you know, you got a hot song this week and somebody else got a hot song next week, and it's just like, all right, cool, well, yeah, you cool, so, but yeah, we're going to take them, so.
Right. Now, let's fast forward us into where we are and where we are today. What are you currently working on?
Well, right now, I'm still touring with Drew Hill.
Okay.
You know, we get ready to go in. We did our last album, Independence Day. We're actually about to start working on some new music. I have my record label, Audio Revolution Group, production company, The Entity, and my crew, The Anomaly, you know, which is like a bunch of guys and writers and people that, you know, I've just been around for years. I also have my rock band.
I definitely appreciate your time, and thank you, Miss Wendy Miller. I really, really appreciate you as well. So you're watching, actually, Mindbolic TV.